Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2017 Winona Senior High School Hall of Fame induction. For those of you that don't know, my name is Casey Hinder and I'm the Activities Director here at Winona Area Public Schools. It gives me a great sense of pride to be able to represent the high school and the Hall of Fame Committee in honoring these four very worthy inductees. I welcome everyone that's here, family, friends, administrators, committee members, fans of the Windhawks. Thank you for coming today. It seems like every year I spend a few nights earlier in the week trying to come up with a short speech for this induction, making sure that our Hall of Fame members are in the limelight for everything that they've done. And every year I get it done, I have my wife revise it, look at it to make sure I didn't say something I probably shouldn't have said. And no matter what happens, Friday comes along and it changes. This year was the very first year I took the entire thing and threw it in the garbage. And it all is because of one picture. Yesterday afternoon I'd come back from Paul Gill Field, getting everything set up for the band, getting water out because of the heat and everything else. And my secretary came over and she handed me a big stack of programs. And it was programs to this event and also the old athletic inductions that they used to do, including some of our our homecoming programs. And we started going through it and looking at it for quite a while. And one picture stuck out to me, and that was the 1999 Hall of Fame program. The homecoming program, excuse me, a bunch of H's. And on the front of it had a picture of the band. They were right from the press box looking down, and then on the back there were some pictures of the football team along with both rosters, the coaches, the administrators and stuff. And I did make a printout of it and I put it back there so you understand what I'm talking about afterwards. But the part that interested me the most was the picture of the band. And we all know we got a fantastic band here, but it was really what was behind the band. And that was the picture showing Paul Gill Athletic Complex back in 1999. For those of you that don't know, there wasn't the beautiful track, there wasn't the turf, there was actually 2 fields back to back, there was tennis courts there, and a pretty large baseball field in the back corner there. So it was pretty impressive. The light poles were about 10, 15 feet off the playing field, but nonetheless, it looked really nice. And I started thinking, man, we've come a long way since 1999. But then I started thinking about something that wasn't visible in those pictures. And it was the memories that were made at that complex. Not only that one, but the ones out here. From the highs of the high, the wins, to the lows of the losses. There's been quite a few, countless memories made on the Windhawk fields. Not just yesterday, but many years ago and many years to come. Certainly those memories are not limited to Paul Gill Field, but each of our facilities contains a memory for each and every one of us. Last night, I certainly gained a couple more memories, as well as this morning. Yesterday was pretty special to a lot of us. We were able to host the state game of the week. Number 1 seeded Class 4A Winona versus number 3 seeded 5A Mankato West. And not to mention, that was Winona's first victory versus West since 2000. So that was awfully impressive. That excitement for me carried on to this morning. I drove from my house on one end of town all the way out to St. Mary's to get out to St. John's Valley. Very first thing I heard before I even saw the valley was Mr. Gleason announcing and getting everyone ready to go for the start. And then you drive into that valley and see the hundreds of runners out there running up through the bluffs, preparing themselves for the day. It's an awfully impressive sight. And if you've never been out to a cross-country meet named after one of our committee members, please make sure you do so at some point in time. These are certainly exciting times for an activities director. I'll be honest, Sunday's pretty exciting too. And I try not to do anything but bless my wife. She saves it all for that day. But the sheer amount of fans cheering on the Windhawks last night and the beautiful views this morning made everything memorable for me. Both events highlight just a small portion of the success that Winona has seen over the past few years. We've got state second places for football last year, softball 2 years ago, 2 years in a row for girls basketball, and also a state champion in girls softball last year. Not to mention 2 individual championships by Griffin Woolner for the boys swim team. The success is because of people in the audience today. Students, coaches, administrators, board members, parents, and alumni have had a major impact on Windhawk athletics over the years and helped shape it into what we are able to see and enjoy today. We are blessed to have a great group of students in the high school, and those students have come from our alumni, and we're very proud to honor those alumni today. There's a sense of pride and fearless dedication in our students to the task at hand, and that's been handed down from generation to generation of Windhawks. As we cheer on our Windhawks of today, we're certainly blessed to honor the Windhawks of the past. It's at this time I would like to welcome Mr. Dahman, our superintendent, to the podium for a few remarks from the district.
Thank you to Mr. Indra, and I want to start by introducing myself because I have not had a chance to meet all of you. My name is Rich Dahman. I'm the superintendent of schools here with Winona Area Public Schools. I started in July, and I'm very happy to be here. Things have gone extremely well over the summer, getting ready for the start of the school year. And now as the school year has started, I've really enjoyed getting to be a part of that Windhawk pride. And being at the football game last night with a full house, watching our athletes perform, watching our musicians perform, and getting to be a part of that was one of the perks, actually, of my job. And it's something that I really look forward to continuing with all of our different activities throughout the fall, into the winter, and into the spring. Another thing that I've noticed in the time that I've been here in Winona has been the large amount of pride that the community and the school has in our schools, all the way from our elementary schools through our middle school and high school is something that really shines in our community. Winona was a little bit on my radar last year, seeing some of the athletic teams compete at the state tournament. I've always been kind of a sports guy. Growing up in Lake City, one of my fondest memories as a high school athlete was competing against Winona Cotter in a great rivalry that we had with Winona Cotter. And I took that love of athletics into my career as a coach when I was teaching in the classroom. I coached a number of sports and really enjoyed that, and really learned to value the hard work and dedication that athletes put in. So on behalf of Winona Area Public Schools, I'd like to congratulate this year's inductees into the Winona High School Athletics Hall of Fame. So congratulations to Angie and Brad, to Sarah and Stacy on your outstanding achievements. It was fun to read all the things that you did, to look back at the pictures in the back of all the years of Windhawk athletics and activities, and to continue to build that pride that we have in our Winona Windhawks. So congratulations to our inductees this year on your achievements throughout your careers and for everything that you've done throughout your lives. Thank you very much.
All right, this time it's an honor to introduce Angie Abbott-Drews. She was actually a 2016 inductee of our Hall of Fame, but was not able to make it last year, so we wanted to make sure we gave her an opportunity to come and enjoy in the festivities, and she's able to do so today. She's going to be introduced by Maggie Lambert.
just to clear things up, I didn't coach cross-country running and I didn't coach track. Coach Flynn isn't here, and neither is Coach Rutherford, because both of them are cruising down the river. They are on a cruise in New England, I guess you would say is where they're at. So I get to substitute here today, which is a great honor and privilege anyway. Angie, I don't know if it was a good choice though, because when I was reviewing your senior year, I discovered that I wasn't even on staff that year. Whenever I think about the running program at Winona Senior High School, the immediate thought that comes to mind is tradition. Over the years, they have won statewide respect based on solid and consistent performance. I've always considered the pressure that each succeeding team had to feel to maintain that high level of excellence. In the beginning, that tradition reflected only a couple of years of performances, but it kept going on and on. And I wondered, did the pressure build for those later runners? Angie Abbott was one of those runners who came onto the scene a little later. She accepted the challenge, and 4 years of competition added much to the tradition of Winona cross country and track. Angie's accomplishments are astounding. In cross country, she was Big 9 all conference for 4 years, and she was the champion in her junior and senior years. She was the Section 1 AA champion in her junior and senior years. She was she was a competitor at all 4 years of state, and she was named to the All-State team 3 of those years. The team also qualified in all 4 years that Angie ran, and they won the state championship in 1989. They placed 9th, 3rd, and 3rd in the other years. Angie also dominated the distance track events. In Big 9, she was the 1,600-meter champion in her sophomore, junior, and senior years. In her senior year, she was also the 3,200-meter champion. In the section, she was the 1,600-meter champion in her sophomore year, as well as a member of the championship 4x800-meter relay. At state, she qualified 4 years. 3 years, she earned all-state honors. As a freshman, she placed 8th in the 4x800-meter relay. She ran in the 1,600 meters in her sophomore, junior, and senior year, placing 6th, 5th, and 11th. In her senior year, she also ran in the 3,200 meters, placing 15th. As evidenced by these performances and verified by Coach Flynn, Angie was a hard worker at practice and a tremendous grower for not only teaching good training and race strategies, but also teaching values and life lessons. Angie attributes her success to the influence of her parents, Jim and Moydeen, and to her older sister, Christine, for paving the way. Angie also played basketball for 3 years under Coach Heisey. Following graduation from Winona, Angie moved on to the Big Ten, running for Coach Gary Wilson at the University of Minnesota for all 4 years in both cross country and track. In cross country, Angie was a 3-year starter and earned both all Big Ten and regional honors. She was named to the all Big Ten academic team all 3 years she was the starter. In track, Angie was a varsity performer for 4 years, taking 6th place in the Big Ten conference meet in the 3,000 meters. She was a 3-year letter winner, named to the Big Ten academic role, and was captain in the 1993-94. After graduating from the U, Angie went on to Columbia University in New York City, earning a master's degree in physical therapy. Angie's married to Jim Drews and has 2 sons, Ethan and Liam, and they live in Prior Lake. And as a final honor, Angie and her sister Christine will be the first 2 sisters to be named to the Winhawk Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
being here and for the introduction. And thanks to the committee, of course, for nominating me. It's such an honor. Just a couple things. Of course, I have to thank Coach Klim. He, as Maggie pointed out, had such a great tradition here, and really, yes, we were kind of expected to do it, and we did. And he was good at making us set goals and sticking with them. And also to Coach Ruggenberg, who always kept us very entertained on all those long runs. They're not here to thank, but it was probably the best part of running was all the fun and all the friends, and I was lucky enough to be able to be on a team that won the state meet. The girls were just all great, and we had the opportunity to ride that fire truck, which was fun. I don't know if we still do that anymore, but that was the greatest fun, and all the people came out and waved, and Winona was just very good supporters and athletes. And they're not here either, but my parents, I think maybe a handful of times they didn't make it to a meet or a event. They were at every single thing. So, and lastly, of course, Jim and my boys for coming today. You didn't know me back then, but you're supporting me today. So thank you.
Thank you, Angela. 2017 inductee Brad Brewer being introduced by Paul Rosny.
I was surprised when they said I had 3 minutes, and those of you who know me know that I can barely clear my throat in 3 minutes. I didn't do my best, but Brad and I were members of the class of 1978. It was, I think it was the biggest class in the history of the school. We had portable classrooms, those of you who remember, basically double-wide mobile homes. We also had strong athletic programs, and the boosters made sure we had beautifully groomed fields. We had Mercury Vapor Lights, which had just come out, I think, over at Paul Giel Field. And it was an honor to be part of that class, but as I look around, I want to thank many of the teachers that are here. Mrs. Solom, Mrs. Lambert, I believe they were just a year out of college. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost sure that was the case. And Coach Ernest was here earlier. But I need a show of hands. Has anybody tried to hit a golf ball? Well, there's an old story, and it talks about a few guys out on the golf course, and the lightning starts to crash down, and it's hitting trees, and it's coming down around the players. And a guy runs over to his bag, and he puts his 2-iron up in the air. One of the guys says, "Have you lost your mind?" He said, "No, even God can't hit it to him." Well, I was getting my hair cut and looking through the Golf Magazine, 2017 edition, and it lists the 100 best teaching professionals in the country. And I'm hoping to find one anywhere near Minnesota. I'd go to Milwaukee if I had to, Des Moines only if I could make it a day trip. But there he was, Brad Brewer, one of the top 100 teaching professionals in the United States. So I started to look into it a little more. And I couldn't remember, and I couldn't find my yearbook, but I knew he had success in high school. I knew he was a competitor. He was a nice guy. And so the more I dug, I found out he wasn't just accomplished in high school, and he was. He went on to college, and he excelled there. He went on to the tour where he played in Australia and Asia, and he excelled there, winning tournaments. They're all listed for you in your brochure. And then it happened. He made that switch. It wasn't just about him competing and him succeeding. It was about how can I help others succeed? How can I give others the gifts that I've been given and the lessons I've learned? He began to teach and mentor others. Brad was honored when Arnold Palmer selected him to help run the Arnold Palmer Golf Academy. And he did that for a long time. And I'm imagining Arnie had his choice of a lot of talented people, but he picked Brad. Brad's taught many people how to handle a really difficult game, a game that requires some measure of coordination, maybe strength, fitness. I play, so how much of that do you need? But it's the head game, and he passes that on. Brad's been recognized. His college has inducted him into the Hall of Fame at Flagler. He's sought out by other tour players, people who are trying to make their living in golf. Brad gives his time and talent to them. So, I think it's an honor to introduce my friend, and by the way, a guy who can hit a 2-iron, Brad.
That's a younger version right there, isn't it? Wow, look at that hair. Well, first off, I have to say, I don't know how I got the smartest guy in our class to be able to introduce me, but I'm thankful for that. Thank you, Paul. I'm honored to be here. Thanks to the committee for putting me into the Hall of Fame. It's, Winona is dear to everybody's heart in this room, and even though I haven't lived here for a very long period of time, I'm a Windhawk. It's in my blood. It always has been. And when I take a look at what Winona means to me and how it started off, certainly the trigger started when I was here in high school and having a chance to play competitively. But without having the opportunity to learn from Pat Shortridge, who was the head pro at Winona Country Club, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. And now that I do what he was doing for me, I understand his genius. He truly kept things deceptively simple. And certainly those of you that have tried to hit a golf ball, it can be endlessly complicated. And we try to do the same thing. We try to pass on that same knowledge and understanding that I learned out of Winona Country Club, and not only from him, but from a lot of the members that we played with out there. We had a chance to play with John Leaf out there, and I can remember at 14 years old getting to play with the Leaf brothers. It was a big deal, and I guess when your game got good enough, you got invited to their money game, and so I'm playing a money game, and Paul talked about pressure, and pressure is when you're playing a $10 Nassau with $5 in your pocket. That happened to be me quite often. So I learned how to deal with stress and pressure at a very young age, thanks to the Leafs. And I think I caddied for one of the brothers for the entire summer to pay off some of my gambling bets. But it was part of the process. It was part of the process that kind of moved us forward. I can't thank Paul and Jan enough for hosting me in their home. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. And the class of '78, all my fans that are here. It's fun to have brunch with them today. That was really neat. People I hadn't seen for a number of years. And as I look through, what has helped me on my path. My father, who's here, Paul Brewer, my mom and dad certainly taught me some awesome things that I try to instill now in my kids and also in my students. And I get to work with youth all the time, so it's a lot of fun to try to keep up with them and try to stay current with them. So, but my mom and dad, they taught me to treat people the way you want to be treated. They taught me to dream big and go after your goals, break it down, go after it. And And certainly those things have helped me along my path, and they're hopefully helping a lot of the students that I work with today to continue forward on theirs. And so, Paul mentioned that, I had a chance to be with Arnold Palmer. It was 30 years up until this last November when he passed away. And I can't tell you how much he meant to me. And I know that I was drawn to him because of what I learned here at Winona. The upbringing that I had here in Winona was very similar to his. He grew up in a small town, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, very similar background. And if I heard him say it one time, I heard him say it 10,000 times, to treat people the way he wanted to be treated. And that's the way he lived his life, and that's the way he mentored not only me, but several other PGA professionals that were around him. So very grateful for him in my life, and certainly helped me, inspired me to do things that were beyond what I've learned how to do here. And there's a lot of things you can learn from a legend like Arnold Palmer for sure. And I don't have time to be able to share all that with you, so you may have so no, seriously, he's been a great contributor in my life, and but I don't think he would have been. I would have resonated with him without my experiences here in Winona. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And, for that, I'm thankful, and for the committee for putting me into the Hall of Fame. I'm thankful, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Brad. Our next 2017 Hall of Fame member is Sarah Bickerstaff Sherman. She should be introduced by Tim Lisi.
It is my privilege to introduce Sarah Bickerstaff Sherman. During her time here, I was lucky enough to spend time with both Sarah and her friends. In fact, you could say that for those 4 years, we shared an office. More correctly, I'm not sure if I shared their office or they shared my office. Over the past couple of days, we've been able to relive many of the stats that made Sarah's time here at Winona Senior High School remarkable. These numbers only tell part of the story. As impressive as the volleyball ace kills, or the fact that in basketball she made almost 6 out of every 10 shots she ever took. Not in a game or practice, but in her career. And that she was part of the first conference title in basketball. They all pale in comparison to who Sarah is as a person. Her positive energy and confidence are apparent the first time you meet her. She is and always has been a genuine, caring person, the daughter of caring and loving parents. And we will never forget her grandparents, who were so proud of all that Sarah and her teammates accomplished. Coach Haley Martin offers these words. Sarah Bickerstaff was one of the most talented volleyball players that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. Biggs, as we fondly called her, was self-motivated, hardworking, fearless at the net. During her senior year, she was surrounded by an amazing group of teammates that were also very talented. This group of girls were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to play together as starters for 3 years. We all knew they were going to be something special as seniors. When thinking of Biggs, I first see her smiling face and bubbly personality. Her energy and enthusiasm were infectious. Biggs was very passionate about the game, and many times she just outworked the opposing team in their blockers. She would come into the huddles pumping everyone up. Come on, you guys, we can do this. I seem to recall that on more than once a set was put up for someone other than her, and she couldn't help herself from going after it. This usually meant that someone might get run over. Sarah Bickerstaff was an amazing student and athlete. She was a team player and a strong competitor. She was a friend to all and a positive influence on so many. She was a reflection on her parents and her family, and they were her biggest cheerleaders and greatest fans of our volleyball team and program. I would like to thank her for all of their support and for sharing their daughter with our volleyball program. On behalf of Coach Martin, Coach Winter, and myself, congratulations, Sarah, for becoming a member of the Winona Senior High School Hall of Fame.
I just whispered to Gleason, now if I cry, I won't feel so bad. That's why I chose him to introduce me. I also have to say, a few years ago, I think before my husband knew how competitive I was gloating in the backyard about some very important win I had had, and I announced loudly that I was a fine athletic specimen. And I have not lived that down, but I feel happy that I now have proof. Last time I spoke at a senior high event, it was actually at my high school graduation in 2001. The topic of my speech was about the cliche that the high school seniors often hear as they're leaving high school about how these are the best years of your life. But I challenged my classmates to not fall into that trap. I said, make sure that what comes next is better, more exciting, more interesting, more fulfilling. That you go out and try to make a difference in the world. But what I didn't really recognize or acknowledge at the time was that without what we had learned as a high school, none of that would have been possible. So the academics were great. I learned a lot. But I feel like what I learned on a bus or in a locker room or on a court really had a profound impact on who I am today. And I'm guessing that my fellow nominees would feel the same way. I learned leadership and accountability, diplomacy, sacrifice, the importance of making a commitment and sticking to it. I learned how to be a teammate, when to step up, when to step back, how to lose, how to win, also how to lose. I learned that I'm capable of doing really hard things, at setting and exceeding expectations. I learned a foundation of skills here with all sports, but under Coach Haley Martin, to play volleyball at a level I never dreamed was possible for me, against teams that I thought I would only watch on TV. I learned that teammates are a different kind of friend. And you move on from celebrating wins and losses on a court to sharing them in life. And I learned that playing is always more fun than not. And I pass that on to my boys every day if I can. So, while I maintain that high school should not be the peak, I'm really grateful that I was nominated and have been given this award so that I had a reason and a chance to reflect on everything that I learned here and how it has set me up for the successes that I've had in my life. Thank you so much to my family for your support from the time I was in 4th grade till now. Thank you to my teammates that aren't here but maybe are watching on Facebook. To my coaches and to the committee. Thank you so much for this honor.
Congratulations, Sarah. Our final 2017 Hall of Fame inductee is Stacy Melwick Matthews. She'll be introduced by Dave Heisen.
But not Dave Heisen. These are the back. These are the words of Haley Martin. These are all Haley's words, Stacy. I'll give you this paper when I'm done to prove it. Stacy Malowicki was one of a number of talented young female athletes to walk the halls of Winona Senior High School in the late 80s. She will always be one of the most talented that I have ever had the opportunity to coach. Stacy Mallow, as we like to call her, was a three-sport athlete and all-conference player in 3 sports. Stacy had a strong work ethic and was super competitive. She could have picked up any sport and been successful. Stacy was a gifted athlete and a strong student. She was one of those players you did not want on the bench. Stacy motivated and led her team by example. She was not a fan of losing. Her Big 9 volleyball teammates were determined, hardworking young athletes, and their team effort that season will always be a special memory for many of us. One of my favorite memories was the night that we played Mayo in the regular season. We knew that if we beat Rochester Mayo that night, we had a good chance of winning or at least tying for a conference title, Big 9 champs. I had scouted the team a few nights before, and before we played, and felt that we had a good chance of winning. We just need to play our game. It was the final game of the match. We had won the first 2 games. Stacy was hitting outside. Mayo had returned the ball off a dig, and it came back at Stacy. She jumped up to hit it and realized that it was going out and let it go while in midair. Match over, and we had ownership of the Big 9 title. The rest is history. We won the final 2 conference matches and were the Big 9 champs at 8-0. We lost in the region semifinals to Lakeville, who beat Apple Valley to advance to the state tournament. Stacy, like many of our successful young athletes, had a very supportive family and a network of friends. Coaches like myself are grateful for the support of parents like Stacy's, and I just wanted to thank them for sharing their daughter with our volleyball program. Congratulations, Stacy, on becoming a member of the Winona Senior High School Hall of Fame. And now, I would like to introduce the real Dave Heisler.
I would say that if you didn't get one of these, you should go get one because there's some really good things. For instance, it says, Stacy Malowicki, daughter of Dodie and Lee Kimball, grew up in Winona with brother Lance and sisters Angela and Holly. She was constantly outside playing. Baseball, basketball, football with Lance. And some of the kids in the neighborhood. Her father, Lee, remembers her as being competitive. Little squirt. She's not a little squirt today. All right. The next part is about volleyball. That's what Mr. Gleason was kind of to work on. Then it says, myself, all right? I was the coach of Stacy, and she came up to me in 10th grade, sophomore. That was the time that 9th graders were they were staying away. All right. So that's where I get into this now. And I remember the first days of basketball back in 1985, 1986 year. Stacy's a sophomore. I had witnessed and marveled at her basketball ability in 9th grade when she was playing with our B squad. And I was eager to see her in action on the A squad. I was not disappointed. In the practices and games that followed that sophomore year, she demonstrated superb ability, despite the fact she was only sophomore. She was the real deal. Her jump shot really was the real deal. And by far, to this day, you know, all basketball players I coached, she had the jump shot. She had the jump shot. And as time went by, she only got better. So we went, how can you get better? Well, we looked at the end of the school year, sophomore year, and guess what? All Big Nine. That isn't, that's, now, next year, junior year, all Big Nine. Senior year? Yes, senior year, all Big Nine. That is quite an accomplishment. In addition to many skills, the most memorable ones for me were that one and a couple of others. She happened to be the first Winhawk girl to score over 1,000 points. And that was in a day where we were playing as many games as we wanted to, I guess, because every year it seems like it changes the number of games. I know when I played, it filled, but also there was a shot called the three-point shot. She got a chance to shoot that one senior year. I'll tell you, it would have been more than 1,000 if you got I then thought that she should play up at Williamson. She didn't, I think, agree with me a lot of the time, but I'm telling you, you are an exceptional basketball world. No, you know, no. But you have to get up there with all the big guys, or girls. I mean, and even though our team, which I know both she and I really wanted to happen, couldn't make it happen, I thought she should have a chance to see what they do and get ready. Now, going on in the program, I don't think we have going on in the program with the things you want to have done. Because if you want me to talk about Stacy, I can talk about her basketball lives, and I can talk about her as personal lives, and that goes on and on. But the real connection, basketball. I'm happy to present with great honor, great pleasure, this very worthy Hall of Fame inductee, Stacy Malwicki Matthews.
I just want to thank everyone for coming today, and I'm honored and humbled to be selected as a recipient for the Hall of Fame award and be placed along so many talented athletes and amazing people. At this time, I want to personally thank my mom for always making sure that My uniform was clean, and I had a great home-cooked meal. Your food is still amazing. To my dad, for being the chauffeur before and after practice, after games, for being the one going outside and shooting baskets with me, and being the #1 defender. I still think you could probably beat me out on the court today. You both have always been my #1 fan. To my coaches, Mrs. Groner, for making track fun. I was not much of a runner, but thoroughly enjoyed those field events. And I still remember the time we spent the night at the high school and played ditch in the hallways and slept on the hard gym floor. Oh, and running those 300-meter sprints. That was one workout. Haley Martin, for always making us laugh, even when you said you were mad at us, with how we played and how we were practicing. For teaching us how to respect the coaching staff when times are tough, and for becoming a lifelong friend. To Mr. Heisey, for making this event a priority today, as you just literally returned from visiting your daughter in Texas. I appreciate that. For teaching us life lessons with your words of wisdom, instilling a hard work ethic in us players by allowing us to rake the leaves in your yard. We did get fed though, however. And for pushing us to become the best we could be. Thank you to the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, especially Mr. Schmidt. I wasn't the easiest to get a hold of, but I do appreciate your time and effort in gathering this information from so many years ago and making this a success. To my family today, Tim, Dakota, Phoenix, my mother-in-law Sharon, dear friends, Jeff, Julie, Dale, Shelley, Debbie, and Dave, for taking the time out today and joining us. Thank you.
Congratulations, Stacey. Let's give all of our Hall of Fame inductees a round of applause. I talked about earlier those memories of the game last night, the cross-country meet this morning. I know being a transplant to Winona in 1998 or so, this is something that I always cherish from year to year. If I had to make a top 5 things that happen in the school, this is always right up there. Not only because I get to meet so many awesome individuals, but I get to learn more and more about the history of Winona Senior High School and Winona athletics. And it's truly a blessing to be able to be in front of you today and to learn about that. So thank you for blessing us with your stories. There's a couple thank yous that I want to make. First, I want to thank the district administration. Without their blessings for this, we certainly couldn't do that. I also want to thank the people that introduced all of our Hall of Fame inductees. As you heard, some of them made special trips to be here today. And I also want to thank the family members of all of our inductees. I know some of you had quite a long distance to go, and you made it here. And that's truly special to each and every one of us. We tried something new this year. We'll see how it goes. But we have this live stream today. So everyone that is a Facebook friend of Winona Senior High School, and those of you that are not, please feel free to go and look at the Facebook page there. But it is being live streamed to everybody and anybody that wants to see it. For those of you that have family and friends that weren't able to attend, let them know about it, and they can go back and watch it at a later time. For our inductees, I will be sending a mailing in the next couple weeks. It'll have a DVD of this program for you to share with your family, and I will also make sure I include that link into that as well, so you can share it with all your family and friends. But I do want to thank our TechNest students for doing that. That's a newly formed group over the past year, and they are just truly awesome. They're the ones that are teaching the teachers how to use the technology of today. And they're sitting in the back smiling and trying to stay out of the limelight. So thank you. And a big special thank you just due to the fact that it is Saturday and it is homecoming weekend. So thank you very much. Truly, I'll never be able to say thank you enough to the Hall of Fame committee. Their work behind the scenes never will ever get the gratitude that they deserve. I affectionately call this group my wise men, and I don't mean to be sexist about that because I know we do have Maggie's on the committee as well. But anytime I ever need history about the school, or I've got an idea that I want to make sure that will fly, this is the group that I talk to just because they have so much passion for the orange and black. And I did want to say, because Don keeps asking me about the second, where's Don at? He keeps asking me about the second mascot. I found it. But I do want to say thank you to Bill Schmidt, Dave Murtis, Don Cloggy, Jim Flynn, Mark Winter, Maggie Lambert, Tim Gleason, Ray Felton, and Scott Halverson. Again, without these individuals, we could not do this. So thank you very much. Before we depart today, feel free to enjoy some cake and some punch. Stay as long as you want, but I will say, if you stay till 7:30, you'll make some new memories because the student council will certainly ask you to help chaperone the dance. And I don't know that any of you want to do that. But if you do, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you because that's where we're going. But as you depart, if you haven't been to the school in a few days, a few years, please make your way downstairs. Downstairs and down towards the gym, we have our Hall of Fame. The updated plaques that each of the members got today are up on the wall for you to read what's written there, as well as all the other Hall of Fame members as well. As you walk by there, you'll see the Wall of Champions. I will apologize. It is incomplete. And I say that with the blessings that we are working towards updating it with the success that we've had over the past couple of years. We're working on getting part 2 done. We've moved some furniture around to have a free wall, and now it's just a matter of deciding how we can mirror what has already been done and make sure we pay respect to those teams that are doing well this year. And then the newest of the walls is right behind my office. So you almost have to go out the doors and then come back in. And that's our AAA wall. That was the one thing that we had been missing for a while because that's the one that incorporates that academics and everything. So we just got that up earlier this year. We've got a couple more plaques to be made to get up there. But nonetheless, all of that has been truly awesome to see. The last thing, make sure before you walk out the main doors today, you look off to your left at the trophy case there. I can't say enough for all of our coaches and our staff that have been working hard over the past couple of years. That trophy case represents the last year to 2 years of the efforts of our coaches. And it's truly awesome to see the state title in there, the multiple second places at the state championships. And just see the success continue, not only from the alumni that are here today, but the students of today, and hopefully it'll continue to the students of tomorrow. So again, congratulations to all of our inductees. Thank you again for coming, and please feel free to share in some cake and some punch. Take care.